Here's the thing. Japan has a rule. If you want to drive a car in a city where 1/3 of the streets are narrower than your living room, your car cannot be longer than 3.4 meters. It cannot be wider than 1.48 meters. And your engine cannot exceed 660 cubic centimeters. That's not a car. By other standards, that's barely a golf cart. But instead of fighting those limits, Japan's engineers leaned hard into them. And what came out the other side is genuinely one of the most impressive collections of automotive problem-solving on the planet. Today we're looking at 13 K-car inventions that are quietly making city life in Japan work better than almost anywhere else in the world. And by the end of this, I promise you, you're going to be asking why none of this is standard where you live. Invention 1. The miracle open door. Let's start with something that sounds simple, but is actually a structural miracle. In every standard car, there's a vertical pillar between your front and rear doors. It's called the B-pillar. It holds the roof up. It protects you in a side impact. You cannot remove it. That's just physics. Except Daihatsu looked at that pillar and said, what if we hid it inside the door itself? The result is called the miracle open door. When you open both the front and rear passenger doors simultaneously, the B-pillar disappears into the door frame. What you're left with is a completely open, unobstructed entry. Wide enough to slide a full-size stroller in without folding it. Wide enough to load a flat-pack box without tilting it sideways. And it's not a compromise on safety. Daihatsu reinforced the door structure with ultra-high tensile steel, so the crash protection is equivalent to a standard pillar design. Think about what this solves. You're parked on a narrow city street. You have a toddler, a rain jacket, and 3 bags of groceries. In a normal car, that's a circus act. In the Tanto, you slide the door open, and the whole side of the car just opens up to you. It's the kind of thing that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Invention 2. The pillarless commercial van. Honda N-Van. Honda took that same pillarless concept and applied it to the commercial world with the N-Van. On the front passenger side, the conventional center pillar is built into the doors themselves, so when the front passenger door and sliding door are both open, you get a huge unobstructed side opening. Combined with the large rear tailgate opening, Honda designed the N-Van so cargo can be loaded from a wide side opening or from the back, improving loading and unloading efficiency in tight spaces. For a vehicle with a footprint of roughly 5 square meters, the N-Van can swallow long cargo items, delivery packages, and equipment in a way that makes many larger vans look wasteful in how they use space. It's become popular with small businesses that need to work out of their vehicle in dense streets and narrow parking spots because the side opening lets them treat the van like a compact walk-up workspace. Invention 3. The dive-down flat-fold floor. Here's where it gets clever in a way that takes a second to fully appreciate. In most cars, the fuel tank sits under the rear seats. That's standard. That's just where it goes. But Honda moved the fuel tank forward, tucking it flat beneath the front seats instead. And that one decision unlocked something remarkable in the rear of the car. Without a tank underneath, the rear seats don't just fold down. They sink. They physically drop into the floor cavity, creating a completely flat load surface from the front passenger footwell all the way to the tailgate. In the N-Van, that means you can slide a full-length item, a surfboard, a ladder, a rolled-up rug, straight through the side opening and lay it flat without any wheel arch humps or seat mechanism bumps interrupting the floor. And here's the part that really got me. When Honda electrified the N-Van, the N-Van E, they kept this system intact. Even with a large capacity battery pack under the floor, the flat fold still works. The engineers refused to sacrifice the utility just because the powertrain changed. That's a design philosophy, not just a feature. Invention 4. The 540mm long sliding driver's seat. This one is a world first, and it sounds almost too specific to matter until you think about it for 30 seconds. The 4th generation Daihatsu Tanto introduced a driver's seat that slides backward a maximum of 540mm. That's over half a meter. Far enough that the driver can move entirely into the rear passenger zone while still sitting inside the car. Why would you ever need to do that? Imagine it's raining. You've just pulled up outside of school. Your child is in the back seat and needs help with their seatbelt, or their bag, or they've spilled something. In a normal car, you either get out into the rain, or you perform some kind of contorted reach-over that no human spine was designed for. In the Tanto, you shift into park, slide your seat back, and you're sitting next to your child. Dry, calm, present. There's also a safety angle. On Japan's narrow 2-lane streets, opening the driver's door into traffic is genuinely dangerous. The sliding seat lets you exit through the passenger side onto the pavement instead. The seat is electronically locked and only operates in park, so it's not a gimmick. It's a considered, engineered solution to a daily frustration that millions of parents and caregivers face every single morning. Invention 5. Ceiling-mounted slim circulators. Modern K-cars are tall, deliberately tall. The tall boy design maximizes interior volume within the strict width and length limits, giving you headroom that genuinely surprises people the first time they sit inside one. But tall interiors create a thermodynamic problem. Hot air rises, cold air sinks. A standard front-mounted air conditioning system struggles to push conditioned air all the way to the rear ceiling zone of a tall cabin. Suzuki's answer in the Spazia is a ceiling-mounted slim circulator. Not just a fan, an aerodynamic tool that moves air along the ceiling surface, breaking up thermal layers and distributing climate-controlled air evenly to every passenger. No secondary rear AC unit. No extra weight. No additional drain on a 660 cubic centimeters engine that doesn't have power to spare. Just a smarter understanding of airflow, and rear passengers who are actually comfortable. Invention 6. The built-in water-draining umbrella stand. This one is so specific, so Japanese, and so quietly brilliant that it almost made me laugh out loud. Suzuki built an umbrella stand into the rear door pocket of the Wagon R. Not just a slot to hold an umbrella, a drainage system. The pocket has a dedicated channel that guides water away from the interior and out through a drain hole at the bottom of the door frame. You come in from the rain, you slide your soaking umbrella into the pocket. The water drains out, the cabin stays dry. No puddle on the floor mat, no damp smell 3 days later, no passive-aggressive argument about whose umbrella made the mess. It's a problem so small that most car designers never even registered it as a problem. Suzuki registered it, engineered a solution, and put it in a production vehicle. That's the K-car mindset in a single feature. Invention 7. Invisible Hood View. The 2025 Nissan Rooks has a feature called Invisible Hood View, and the name is exactly what it sounds like. Using a composite of camera feeds, the system projects a real-time image onto the infotainment screen that makes the front of the car appear transparent. You can see the ground directly beneath the engine bay. You can see exactly where your front wheels are in relation to a curb, a wall, or a drainage channel. For a Western driver, this might sound like a luxury add-on. For a Japanese driver navigating an alleyway where the clearance between their mirror and a stone wall is measured in centimeters, this is a necessity. The gap between "I think I'll fit" and "I definitely fit" is the difference between a confident commute and a scraped panel. Invisible Hood View closes that gap entirely. Invention 8. Multi-purpose rear flaps. The latest Suzuki Spazia introduced something called multi-purpose flaps on the rear seat cushions. They're articulating extensions, hinged panels on the front edge of the rear seats that can be adjusted to different angles. Raise them one way and they become an ottoman, supporting the legs of rear passengers for long journeys. Adjust them another way and they act as stoppers, preventing grocery bags or backpacks from sliding off the seat during braking. One mechanism, two completely different use cases. Zero additional weight or complexity. It's the kind of dual-function thinking that runs through every aspect of K-car design. Space is finite. Every component has to earn its place by doing more than one job. Invention 9. Welcome open and touch and go. Loading a car with full hands is one of those daily frustrations that sounds minor until you're standing in a car park in the rain, holding a toddler and 4 shopping bags, trying to find your key fob with your elbow. Daihatsu solved this with 2 linked features in the Tanto. The first is Welcome Open. You can preset the sliding door to open automatically as you approach the car. The key fob is detected, the door reads your proximity, and it slides open before you even reach for it. The second is Touch and Go locking. Normally, you'd have to wait for a sliding door to fully close before you can lock the car and walk away. With Touch and Go, you tap the lock sensor while the door is still moving. The car registers the command and locks everything the moment the mechanism completes its cycle. You don't wait. You touch and go. Together, these 2 features turn a moment that used to require 3 hands into something that requires none. Invention 10. Transparent hood for urban exploration. The Mitsubishi Delica Mini is a K-car that looks like it wants to go off-road. And in Japan's mountainous regional cities, where roads can be steep, narrow, and unpaved, that's not a fantasy. That's a Tuesday. Its transparent front hood feature uses cameras to show the driver a live view of the ground directly beneath the engine bay. Combined with a multi-terrain system, it lets drivers navigate around potholes, rocks, and uneven surfaces that would otherwise be completely invisible from the driver's seat. It's the same technology you'd find in a luxury 4x4 costing 3 times the price, packaged into a vehicle that fits in a space barely larger than a parking bay. Invention 11. Boost Mode. A 64 horsepower engine is perfectly adequate for city driving, but merge onto a highway and that adequacy starts to feel like a negotiation. Honda's electric K concept, the Super One prototype, introduces a boost mode, a software-controlled function that temporarily unlocks higher torque output from the electric motor, giving the driver a sharper, more confident acceleration response when they need it. It doesn't change the hardware, it doesn't violate the regulatory limits. It uses software to give the driver access to performance that the standard operating parameters deliberately hold back, and then returns to normal the moment passes. It's the K-car philosophy applied to power delivery. Work within the constraints, then find the gap inside the constraints where you can still surprise people. Invention 12. Biogas adaptation for circular economies. At the 2025 Japan Mobility Show, Suzuki unveiled something that reframes what a fuel source can be. The Victress biogas concept adapts the standard 660 CDU engine to run on compressed biomethane, gas derived from agricultural waste, crop residue, farm byproduct, material that rural communities already produce in abundance and currently have limited use for. In Japan's rural regions, K-cars are often the only form of personal transport. By engineering a vehicle that can be fueled by local agricultural waste, Suzuki is proposing a closed loop, a car that is powered by the community it serves, using resources that community already generates. It's not just an alternative fuel, it's a rethinking of what the relationship between a vehicle and its environment can look like. Invention 13. Rakusuma assistance grips. Japan has one of the oldest populations in the world, and K-cars have always been the vehicle of choice for older drivers. Affordable, easy to park, simple to maintain, but the 2025 Daihatsu Tanto went further than that. The Rakusuma package introduces specially designed oval-shaped assistance grips positioned on the front pillar and the backs of the front seats. They're ergonomically shaped with ridges to prevent slipping. They're positioned specifically to help people with limited leg mobility stabilize themselves when entering, exiting, or moving within the cabin. It was engineered in from the beginning because Daihatsu understood who was actually going to be driving this car and what they were actually going to need. A car that thinks about the person getting in and out of it, not just the person driving it. That's a different kind of intelligence. Every single one of these inventions exists because someone looked at a constraint, a size limit, a narrow street, an aging population, a rainy commute. And instead of working around it, they worked through it. The K-car isn't a compromise, it's a proof of concept, a proof that when you remove the option to just make something bigger, you are forced to make it smarter. And right now, as cities everywhere are getting denser, parking is getting scarcer, fuel costs are climbing, and the average car is somehow getting larger. Japan has been quietly running a 70-year experiment in the opposite direction. The results are in. If you want to see more of what Japan has quietly figured out while the rest of the world wasn't paying attention, click the subscribe button. We see you in the next one.